Mark and I are so happy to have Jackie Collins in our home. She has sold over 500 million books in over 40 countries, and she's with us today to talk about her amazing career. Her 30th book, that's right, 30th book just came out, the Lucky Santangelo Cookbook of all things. A cookbook, Jackie.
And I'm embarrassed to bring a cookbook to you because you are such a brilliant cook, and I've eaten at your house and I've eaten your food, and it's unbelievable.
Oh,
was this cookbook written in longhand like all your other ones?
Of course it was,
Of
Mark.
course.
Yes. Well, you know, it's full of illustrations of Lucky and little scenes between Lucky and Lenny, who are my two popular characters. I've written 7 books about them and 2 miniseries, 10 hours of prime time for NBC, as we've often talked about.
Yeah, we have.
Yes.
You know what we never talked about? I have asked you so many things, and I've tried to decipher and get you to spill the beans as to who is who and which, but I've never asked you how you ended up in this city, in Hollywood.
Oh, I came here when I was 15. I was a school dropout, and my sister was making movies here with Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward, and my parents, you know, couldn't stand me, and they said reform school or Hollywood, and I said, I'll take Hollywood. And I got on a plane, and I came to Hollywood, and I was 15, and she took off on location, left me with the keys to her apartment, and that's where I learned everything.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Oh, right.
Joan was 19 there and you were 15?
No, this is an older photo. Yes.
Oh, older?
Yes.
But you,
no,
why?
Why?
No, I was going to ask you, I just want to go back. You said reform school or Hollywood. Why did your parents want to send you to reform school?
Because I was a wild child.
Okay.
You know, I just wrote this book called Confessions of a Wild Child, which was Lucky at 15. And after I'd finished the book, I realized that a lot of it was me at 15.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Because I would run away from school and run away from home and go to the movies every day and, you know, wave at the resident flasher and all of those things. And so they finally got rid of me, and my parents finally got rid of me. I was a punk before punks existed. Yes.
When did it hit you that you could start writing anonymously about people or write people?
But it's not anonymous, Mark.
No,
surely you recognize yourself.
Oh. Did you?
All I can say is
the talk show host.
Is he Jack Python? Is he
strides through the lobby of the Beverly Hills Hotel.
Yes, that sounds very familiar.
It makes sense to me now.
Very familiar.
Does it make sense?
It makes sense.
I recognize that gate anywhere.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, I like my readers to play the guessing game, and they love it. You know, 30 books later, they're still saying to me, now, who is that character? Who could that possibly be? And I take the essence of a famous person, and then I make it my own. I don't write their life, because then you would be bored. But I want people to have fun with my books. I want them to pick them up and have that guessing game and say, oh, this is really a picture of inside Hollywood.
Sure.
Now, I know when you said, I read that when you were a child, you would go and listen to your father, who would play cards with his friends, and they would talk disparagingly against women.
Yes.
And you didn't like that.
No, I didn't.
And that really bothered you. And is that why you decided to make such strong character?
You know, I just feel that there was not any equality between men and women when I was growing up, and even now today, men seem to rule the world, and we can see what's going on in the world today. I know, and so I just wanted to do it in my way. I wanted to take the double standard and turn it on its head.
Sure.
You know, equal sexuality for women, equal everything. So I created Lucky Santangelo, who is a really kick-butt character, and she is the woman that most women would like to be, because she says everything they would like to say, and she does everything they would like to do.
But
she looks just like you,
illustrated.
She looks just like you.
But wait, so sort of pen to paper is easy to do, but when you apply that, you have 3 daughters.
I do. I have 3 fabulous daughters.
What advice did you give them, and still do you, about men?
Well, you know, they were very smart, and I was a very hands-on mother. I mean, I was always there for them, even though they were raised partly in England and partly in Hollywood. I was always there for them. I would get them up in the morning, I would make a breakfast, I would take them to school. Yeah, there they are when they're little. Now they're adults, and they're fabulous. They're my best friends, all 3 of them. But I feel it's very important as a mother to be a hands-on mother. You don't hand them the keys to a Porsche at 16 and say, here's a credit card, go and do what you want. Yeah. So they're fantastic.
Well, they grew up in Beverly Hills that way, because all the friends and the people that they saw, that's exactly what they did. And you weren't about to
No, I wasn't about to stand back and let them do what they wanted. And you're the same with your daughters. You have beautiful daughters.
Thank
you. But let me put you both of you up to this then. As grandparents, right?
Yeah.
Do you What's better? I know where you're going to go, how you answer this, but as grandparent, is it better than being the parent?
Well, of course it is.
Okay.
You know, grandchildren come and see you, and you have a fabulous time with them, and then you say goodbye. And they're out the door, and you're doing what you want to do.
Okay, all right. So then let me take it a step further, and you're included in this. So if they send them over and they say, great, enjoy the day, I don't want them to have sugar or ice cream or pizza.
Oh, they can have anything they want.
Anything they want.
That's right.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Right?
you don't listen to your daughter's advice?
No, because
on
one
how
of my
she
daughters
wants to-
says to me, why do you give them so many Christmas presents? And I go, because I can.
Yes.
So that's
and
the
then
role
they-
of spoiling
Oh,
now.
look.
Yes.
Oh, what are we holding here,
Oh,
Jackie?
we are holding the order of, this is my 3 grandchildren.
Beautiful granddaughters.
Yes, and this is the Order of the British Empire, which I was presented in December by the Queen at
My
Buckingham
goodness.
Palace in London.
Do we call you
Yeah.
Lady Jackie?
No.
No? No? Oh, look at the Queen.
And that's
wow,
the Queen pinning it
Jackie.
on me.
Oh,
and,
My
what a
goodness.
and she said to me, oh, Miss Collins, I understand you've written many books. And I said, yeah, not bad for a school dropout, huh?
Oh,
I realized I was
the
being very
Queen.
improper by saying that. And then you have to back away because you're not allowed to turn your back on the Queen. So I had to take 3 steps back. And you're thinking, am I going to trip up and break my neck here? But she was very lovely. And
Can you have eye contact with him?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. She was fantastic.
what was that moment like for you? What is that?
Well, it was
what
great.
Is that
But,
order?
you know, I was so sorry my mother wasn't there to see it. But, you know, she died before I even wrote a book. So she never saw my success. She died very young.
Well, that's quite an honor. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And my sister has one, too. So the 2 of us have one.
You have-
OBEs, the Order of the British Empire.